Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Knobs Podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts are JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter, my brothers in BMX. Listen, we have a fun-filled episode this one. You're going to really enjoy it, and I hope you do enjoy these. So please do us a favor, subscribe. Make sure on YouTube your subscriptions are public so we get your names. And that way we can send you something cool for doing it. Listen, it doesn't cost you anything, and there's a chance you can get a box full of who knows what. Well, the winner this week is Rob Brown. And Rob, if you reach out to us at dirtyknobspodcast@gmail.com, we will send you a box. Hey, enjoy the episode. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. We do our own commercials at the end. We try to always add something funny in there. Anyway, enjoy Dirty Knobs. I need that podcast for dummies or something. Yeah. Dude, I just unplugged everything, plugged everything back in, and it worked fine.
Well, you don't even know what I have. I have a secret camera filming all this because I'm gonna actually launch my own YouTube channel of what not to do with podcasts. I'm gonna have more subscribers than ever. Exactly.
People used to tell me, oh, my computer's not working, or like we'd be in a meeting, I can't get this to work. I go, and I used to tell them in a serious face, I go, okay, I had this problem. Put your hand on the cover and close it and open it really hard 5 times.
Yes.
Take the change out of your left pocket and put it in your right pocket.
You stand up and you pull your pants down and put your thumb up your ass and stand on your left foot, you're going to get a great signal.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got Tracer on the other line. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, I saw that.
But we're not going to say anything to him about it. Don't bring it up.
And we're just all going to strip naked into our birthday suits.
Well, I got even better is we're going to have somebody call in for his birthday.
Oh. Nice.
Okay.
Mystery guest. Oh, but wait. Before you put him on, did you see the stuff he sent us?
He who?
Tracer.
Whoa.
Do you mean the links to his? Yeah, no, I didn't.
I didn't see anything.
No, I don't want anything to spoil. What's that?
He put it in Facebook. I was telling EC. It was in Facebook, but I almost replied back, yeah, we're not going to talk about any of this stuff.
I didn't look at anything because I did not want it to influence or spoil. Dude, that's just not how we do it.
Hold on.
It was like his work. Go look in Facebook.
I'm looking right now. He just
in your messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
It's like a video about him, doing all the sound stuff. Like it's like a bio thing that somebody did on him. It was really cool. I watched it.
I'm sure it is.
And then it's his Hall of Fame speech. But I really was going to type back, yeah, we're not going to talk about this.
Yeah. No, listen.
That's all serious stuff.
Yeah. No. Tell us about that time that you ran across the street naked and the cops were chasing you. And
I don't want to know any of all that bullshit. I want to know mob stories, dude. I want mob stories.
Exactly.
I want strippers and mob stories from Vegas.
No, that's exactly right. All right. Well, I'm going to invite him in. All right, boys, here we go. One more time.
Yes.
Yep.
We got a special guest today. My good friend, our former teammate, and probably the mayor of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's bring Tracer Finn on in. That was a rhyme. That was accidental.
Look at you.
All right, he's connecting to auto.
Hey.
What?
Whoa.
What? Wow.
That's
This guy.
That's
Hey.
serious.
Hey,
Hi,
Serious
guys.
factor.
hey.
What's happening?
Dang.
Look at Mr. Style back there.
Man, look
That's
at all
right.
that.
What's all the backgrounds? We have the paneling. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm accustomed to. And do we have the sushi bar?
That's a
Eric?
sushi bar right
There
here.
we go. That's it. Sake, cheers.
That's
We gotta
right.
get you we gotta get you the hat. EC.
Oh,
I do. I need the sushi chef hat, don't I?
yes. I
You
love
need
it. It's
Just start flipping those shrimp up onto the top of your hat like the
That's right.
Benihana.
I'm gonna have you guys open your mouth, right? You know when you do the teppanyaki when they flip them out to you.
well, it's a constant. That's for sure.
Oh
Oh.
man. Well, just so everybody knows, this is our special guest, Mr. Tracer Finn.
Yeah.
Arguably, in my opinion, the fastest guy ever out of Las Vegas. A great friend, a brother, a teammate, oftentimes been a cast as the funny guy in our comedy show that has traveled the world with us all.
Hey, and
Awesome.
both of you guys can't count to 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Show him, Trace.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Give me 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right here.
9.5.
Yep. Hey, how much did you pay for that?
Yeah. I get
Don't-
10% off everything.
Yeah, yeah. I paid $1.75 for that.
That's awesome.
Hey, I want to talk about that, by the way, when that happened. But first, there's something else I want to do. Hold on one moment, because it's pretty important. Hang on.
Oh, what do you got?
Yeah, look at this.
Look
We
who's
got-
calling.
Oh,
No. Oh, no, this
What?
is more important. Hold on.
Okay. Tommy
Can't hear him yet.
Christopher's on the line.
Tell Tom to wait for his dad to drop the gate. Hold on.
What in the heck?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
yeah.
There he is.
I'm
Dude,
talking
look at-
about.
Look at that guy.
Oh, my brother right there.
We brought
Oh.
in a special guest because it's a special day. It's not just our podcast, but it's a special day. What day is it, Eddie?
Not my birthday.
Not my birthday.
Oh,
Steve
That's in
Finn, Happy
October.
birthday, brother.
Thanks, my buddy. I appreciate you. That's cool. It's
Yeah.
funny,
Is
we
that
all
your
know-
office
we
or
all
you
know each
sitting in
other's
your
birthdays.
garage?
What's that?
Is that your office or you sitting in your garage?
I'm in my garage.
I know where you're at, dude.
I know.
I know your house like the back of my hand.
Hey, Eddie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to. Hey, man, do you have a favorite Tracer story you could tell me real quick?
You know what? He's too nice of a guy to really have anything bad. I mean,
Yeah,
Tracer's a saint, dude. Come on.
I know.
but
We
the
would never
girls,
do anything criminal with him.
Well,
The
not
girls all
criminal.
love
Not, not even with girls.
It can
You
be
know
with
what?
girls.
The only, you know what? The only worst thing that we had was that I think your stepmom had make us fake IDs one time to go out. That was about
yes, yeah.
Great.
0.03 stencils. And my stepmom made fake IDs so Eddie and I could go out to a club. That's why I always hated Vegas, because he'd be out all night with me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
it.
love
That's
it.
pretty much the extent. That's the extent of the dirt that I have on Tracer.
That's fantastic.
What that tells me is that Tracer's got some dirt on you and you're holding out.
Dude, I think the whole world's got dirt on me. That's why I'm very
Oh.
cautious who you put on there.
Man.
Eddie King, my hero, my friend.
champ.
Thanks for calling in, man. I'm glad you did this for Tracer. Can't wait to have you on here, brother.
No problem. You guys have fun, Tracer. Happy birthday, man. Are you 58?
Yes, sir.
Damn,
See you there in
okay.
October.
So you're in the big boy class now.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
I'll talk to you
care.
later, Eddie. We're gonna
See you,
ride this
Eddie.
weekend.
See you, Eddie.
Ciao. Bye.
Hey,
What a jewel. Thanks, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
hey, did you guys notice? Did you guys notice Eddie? Eddie. Oh, he's back
Yeah.
on. Hey, you going to the gun show?
Dude, I'm going riding. It's about 102 outside.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew you were going riding.
I
dude.
knew it.
I knew you were going riding, man. But I had to call it out. I
It
love
is
it.
gun show, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, okay. You better call 911. Somebody stole your sleeves.
That's right. All right, you guys have fun.
Hey,
You too, Eddie.
you too, Eddie. Have fun on the bike, bro.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye, Eddie.
Later.
Oh, that's cool. Got to
Yeah.
ride with them last weekend. What a fun time.
Yeah, we're supposed to ride this weekend. Dude, that guy's fast.
Yeah, we rode Moab and rode about 3 hours with Gork and Eddie. And I had a rental bike. We rode 3 hours around this big mountain. I don't know, you guys have ridden Moab. And his buddy comes riding back and goes, man, what happened? I thought you had a mechanical. And I'm, in the saddle for 3 hours. And I go, no, dude, I'm just having a physical. Like I had arm pump and I couldn't, it was like ruddy. And I'm like, I started flipping my bars and I went, he goes, oh, we thought he left us so far. They came back on electric bikes to see if I was okay. And I'm like, no, just having them, just having them.
Dude, man, depending on which trail you took, it is no joke to get off the hill in Moab for sure, man. It is.
Oh yeah. And he
hard.
killed it. 3 hours. He was amazing as always, but that's sort of why he's the king.
Yeah.
He is the king.
That's
He
true.
is
He's a
the
legend.
king. Tracer, got a quick question for you.
Sure.
I alluded to, I thought that you were the fastest guy ever out of Las Vegas. I know that they were well, you can try to argue that, but in my opinion, there's no question. But could you tell me who do you think, if you excluded yourself out of that, who do you think was the fastest guy ever out of Las Vegas?
Wow. I have 5 names that are honestly, each one of you guys will agree with them.
Okay, hold on. Who do you think, EC or JV? Anyone you can think of?
No.
Oh, I can think of 3.
I mean,
go ahead, JV.
Luan is fast. He's
Was he
out of
from
Vegas,
Vegas?
right?
No,
Was he
he's
out of
from
Vegas?
California, but he moved here. But
Oh, he moved there.
yeah.
Well, then I don't have anybody then.
Those Team Aggie guys were pretty quick.
Yeah.
Those Team
I
Aggie
was
guys were pretty quick.
Mark Thrower.
Yeah, I was going to
was
say
probably
that name too.
That was probably the biggest guy. That guy's huge. Mark Thrower rode for GT. Tom Jacobson
Absolutely.
from Robinson. I mean, that guy was fast and he had a great style and he was, had just super smooth, didn't make mistakes.
Yeah, he made it effortless. So
yeah.
So you want me to fill in the gaps here?
Well, no, one more.
Well,
One
okay.
Oh.
more. Fred Johnson.
Oh.
Ooh, you know what? You can't deny that. He was smoking fast. He's a good dude. He was my traveling partner.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a couple names that you just can't even deny. And this one, how about Connor Fields?
Yeah,
That was
it's
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, lately,
he was a tiny knob, not a.
He doesn't
dirty
race
knob.
BMX. He races that pump track stuff.
Yeah. But I was, Mark Thrower was absolutely hands down the fastest because we didn't have a pro class. So he raced us. We'd race for pro-ams for a pizza and $10, pass the hat. And he would kill us. And the only way, people brag about, oh, I beat so-and-so. And you go, no, you didn't. Like he sat down because he hit the gate, or you'd never beat him straight up because he was so fast. And you've seen him in action. He won Corona, B Pro. So they always said he was just like, couldn't ride, but you win Corona and B Pro, you're jumping.
Yeah.
And it's from that high gate. It was when they added that extra section. So hands down, the fastest A to B. Tommy Jacobson was probably the best rider. And then if you want to talk about, I think one of the most successful guys, I never got to catch him, and he was a little turd anyway, but George Sievers.
Oh, Chicken George.
Yeah, I forgot about you.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
And then one that'll go back with Eddie's team trophy winning, and he never gets the credit. But you said about those Team Aggie guys, you're absolutely right. Mike Aguilera.
Yeah.
I got pictures of him Dyson with Richie and Pete.
Yeah.
And he was, he probably left a little early, but when there was 13 Expert, he was running around picking up those team trophies for those guys.
Yeah.
I
Built
remember
like
that.
a fire plug, man. That
Yeah.
guy was so strong.
He's that whole family. I'd have to race all their brothers in trophy dash. So it'd be myself and then 3 Aggies. And when he was 13, he could beat you. So you had to watch he'd whole shot. And his dad was a gate starter. And you know, cadence? Here's the Spanish version of it's let's get set him up. Okay, right there, better set to go. And you go like, what? And it was they all knew it, obviously. That's it was like pass. They were probably saying pass the potatoes.
Yeah.
And
You were looking down for the subtitles.
yeah. And their whole family was awesome, but their brothers were fast, but Mikey, I think, was probably pound for pound the fastest guy and thrower, right in there. But quite a few good guys out of here. It's been fun. Been a good ride.
To say all that about all those guys and still say, I'm going to stick with my original statement. You were the fastest guy, the best guy to ever come out of Las Vegas, man, by far.
I agree. The reason I say Connor is because it's so far apart, right? You always hear these arguments about who is the GOAT or the greatest of all time. And then you have guys comparing Pete and Gary Ellis to Maris and Connor. And you can't, quite honestly, you can't really compare those guys because the sport is so different and it's changed so much. So truly, Connor is an amazing, unbelievable athlete. He's accomplished so much in the sport, but when we're talking about our era, our BMX era, and what we do, I agree with Hollywood that you definitely are the fastest dude that's come out of Vegas for sure.
Well, thank you.
JV and I talked about this once, that we call it, there was bicycle motocross and then BMX. And I think what we raced, especially when you say Corona, that was bicycle motocross.
Yeah, because that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, because the track at Corona actually was used part of the Grand Prix motocross track. So it was easy to say, I was bicycle motocross. Not to take anything away from those guys today. I mean, the BMX era now, they're true athletes. I mean, they're so impressive.
Yeah.
So Connor Fields, you're just a little knob. We're old, long, stretched out old knobs. Or we're worn down knobs. That's what we are. Right. We're just worn out, dirty knobs.
I don't know how you guys race in the summertime outside over there.
You know how we got our you didn't see a lot of us kill it except like Mikey early, because we were still doing rubber band starts when you guys had starting gates, and the only food or water out in the middle of the desert was the Aggies they sold burritos, and they had a camper, and the whole team Aggie had to be 10 of them. They would sell burritos for race money because they were all racing motocross and bikes, and then no water fountains. You could race with shorts, no shirt, because it was just so bloody hot, and it was sandy and dirty, and we just had a rubber band because it was out in the middle of the desert and everybody just tear up anything you'd leave out there. So we wanted a starting hill, and they put their old Cadillac that broke down, and they parked it on the first straightaway, and then they let us beat out the windows, jump our bikes off of it, and then we covered it in dirt, and that was our first starting hill. So you go fast forward 30 years, and say you buy a piece of land out, and it was way out there. Steve Wynn built this golf course. Mike, it's right by Shadow Creek. Right next to Shadow Creek. So it's busy out there now. Just think you're digging it up and you go, I found a Cadillac, and you're looking for Jimmy Hoffa.
I was going to say, you're looking at the trunk.
Yeah, there's some bounty. You don't open that trunk without the medical examiner there.
You guys should have for sure put a skeleton in that trunk.
That would have been, you think about time capsules, and that would have been one, because the Williams family, I mean, they did motorcycle races on Sunday and BMX on Saturday. They were out there, throwing tires, grooming the track. You know what it takes. And we raced 5 motos. You didn't just go out and snap it out. You do 3 motos, 10, 12 guides per moto, and they add up your points with like 4 or 5 scores. And then they'd have an intermission, and we'd have a jumping contest or a wheelie contest or a bunny hop, or we do the backward race where we'd race the track backwards up the hill, and then side by side, 2 guys on each pedal, 1 on each pedal. And then that was sort of gave the scorers time to add up. you could go out of there with like a 54-point total and get fifth. You know, like you're like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah. I think today that would be child abuse.
Yeah. It kept us busy.
Child endangerment.
And then we'd ride home. We just, everybody chuck our helmets and ride home, and we'd cool off by jumping in the fountains and stealing money for food out of the fountains.
It's really awesome. Think about it.
Motos
I mean,
to
the whole
keep track
thing is
of.
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many, when the ABA went to 3 mains for the pros, there was on more than one occasion, I was confused in the 3rd main going around the track, counting with my, on the track, counting, let's see, I'm the 2nd, 3rd,
14,
5th,
13.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Do I got to cut over left or right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
That's funny.
crazy. That's
Oh,
wild though,
man.
man, to hear about the roots of how you guys raced back in the day, man. I mean, Vegas was always a hard place to race at, man, because the texture of the dirt was always this weird, like it was hard to get traction. So, like locals there was always local guys that knew how to ride through that stuff. And we would come, I mean, SoCal's dry too, but it's different, dude. The dirt in Vegas is different.
And Tracer, what track was that?
The old Williams track raceway was the original who brought, BMX to Vegas. But then the first time you guys started coming was when we really got put on the map was Desert Surf.
Right. And that had the skate park next to it, right?
it was pretty cool. Yeah. So that was the skate park, and then they had the bike track, and that's sort of when all you guys would start coming through, and we learned how to gate start and, sort of stepped up our game. I think that was 77. We got Desert Surf open. It's a good time.
Wow.
Probably. I mean, that's when there was a picture of, I think, wasn't Stu Thompson riding inside with no visor.
Oh, I don't know. That would make sense with those lights. I don't know but I watched him and Tinker because I thought jumping guys were the coolest, and I saw more for jumping, and also Tinker too jumping. But no, that was there's a famous sequence shot of Stu Thompson and Mark Thrower, the crash sequence,
First turn.
3 in a row. Yeah.
Turn. I remember that.
And and that's how fast Mark was, where Mark probably never saw anybody next to him ever. Like, unless he hit the gate. But I think he just kept pedaling like he normally did, and went, oh, there's a big guy next to me. And it's one of the best riders ever. So that's the kind of power he had. He could hang with the big dogs. So it's a good track.
But that was not, well, I want you to go back to that picture with Stu Thompson. Until then, that picture, the picture of Thrower and Stewart crashing, the sequence of David Clinton bunny hopping off the top of the first turn and landing on the backside of a jump that was exiting the turn. Do you remember that?
Oh, nice. No.
Oh, it was the smoothest thing I've ever seen. One of the smoothest things I've ever seen on a bicycle.
Yeah.
But not the most famous, though any of those don't hold a single candle to, in my mind, the most famous picture of all.
I know what he's going to say.
Of BMX in Las Vegas. Would you have to agree? I mean, it's iconic.
I know what you're going to say, dude.
Traction for that. Yeah. What's that?
The picture of you jumping your dad's piano.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. I've heard you told me the story of when it happened and how it happened, but I don't know if enough people actually know that was not planned. That was a last minute. Tell the story, Tracer, please.
Oh, well,
hear this.
Mike, I was pretty much Levi's and Mickey Finn show jersey. I didn't do any co-sponsors. I just, my dad paid my entry fees, and that was the deal. And I never got it. I got to be in a couple smaller magazines, NBA World, Super BMX, because I had Levi's on. But finally, I went to Bob Osborne and I said, hey, sort of like, what do you got to do to get in the magazine kind of thing? He goes, look at you. And I was, I look back now and it was such a great suggestion. I was like, oh, you're right. Like literally I was a hillbilly. And so I bought some racing pants, then got sponsored. And I think he always liked me, but he didn't think I was the style for the magazine. And so once I got on CW, he said, we're going to do something cool. And he came to Vegas, and we had set up, remember those cool jumps he did with like Greg Hill, where they did some like in front of buildings, or, you know, like everybody had sort of jumped a car. They're trying to, you know, stretch the photography levels to not just dirt and a berm shot. So we had set up to jump in the Caesar's fountain, like Evel Knievel. So we went up and we had this little ramp, and it's only about a foot deep, maybe 2. And we were jumping, I was jumping into it, and he was trying to get the angle to make it look cool. And every time I'd land, it was just enough water, and it was mossy where I'd just slide out. Like I just crash, and, you know, like you couldn't, there's no way to land it. It was all mossy and just like a slick. So, and every time I get soaking wet, so we dry off, try and look presentable. And no matter, and in his, you know, he didn't have a viewer. He just went, man, this isn't epic, you know, and we knew it. And he just, so he ended up somehow staying another day, and we were having dinner. He was with my dad, and we had always talked about jumping my dad's piano in his show, because I used to work the show ever since I was a kid. And he goes, and my dad's that guy. You know how you talked about parents, and I think your last one about the funny parent contest, you know, and those kind of, my dad was the cool guy. Like if you hung out at the house, you were your family, you know, so my dad and I talked about that, and he goes, we should just, why don't we jump the piano? And then it just went, I think we were having dinner, and he felt like he didn't get the jump, and we were trying to come up with a plan. And we rolled his piano out. We rolled his piano out like at 10 in the morning to that turn to Fremont Street, and rolled the piano out. And the banjo player, if you ever look at the shot, is my brother's girlfriend, and she has a cast on. So she couldn't even play banjo right then, but you know, we're all available when you're helping each other out. So, and the girl on the left was my stepmom, and we just ran everything out and then set it up. And I took a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and my motocross buddy helped me put it on a sawhorse. The first ones, nailed it to a sawhorse, and then took the second one and then nailed it to the back of the piano. It's an upright piano. So it was just click, click. And
so a lot of engineering went into that.
Tons. It was scared to death, because I mean, I was excited, but I knew that I had to clear everything, because there was a curb. And then by then the road was closed. They thought we were filming a movie, and you know, everybody just stopped traffic, and it looked professional, like we were absolutely doing a movie. Wow. And so I hit that wide open, and I just click. And that shot is me it's true fear. You know, it's not like, oh, I got this, I'm going to tuck, you know, I'm just going, you know, I'm looking in hotel room windows kind of thing. And if you notice, it says the Mickey Finn Show on that reader board. Right. Bob timed that.
Oh my gosh.
It scrolls. So I landed and just blew up. My bike went in the crowd, and it was freaking awesome. You know, it's like I'm just rolling, and nothing was broken. You do the body check. I get up. I'm like, all right. And then Bob comes over, and it's just him and I in the middle of the street. And he goes, all right. He goes, relax. He goes, just jump, you know? And so we did it again, and I tucked, and, you know, like you would, obviously your second run. And it was, of course, just flat. And I tucked the second one, and it looked cool if you're a rider, but the Mickey Finn wasn't scrolling, and it didn't look epic. You know, it looked cool, and it would probably, you know, pass the test. But he went with that first one, and I have 2 knee replacements to prove it.
Dude, I remember when you told me that you didn't know how fast to go. So you just went all out sprint straight at the plywood.
As fast as I could pedal, on adrenaline, scared, like the boogeyman is chasing you. I mean, it was probably as fast as I've ever gone. It was just wide open, 44/16, one-piece cranks, just blam. It was so exciting. And then I don't want to say I didn't know it'd be a big deal, but just the situation right there was good enough, you know, like doing stuff with my dad. And if you ever see sort of cool pictures back here, if you can see it, but I'm going to give you guys an easy, underhand, funny thing. Guess what I'm sitting on right now? And any answer is okay.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Oh, no way.
That's- Yeah, that's from the shot. So it's
Wait,
in my
can you ask
garage.
again? Because we can edit that. Ask us again.
So I'll give you guys freedom on this. What am I sitting on?
Boyfriend's
Uh,
face.
T-
Now you're talking like we should.
TJ Lavin's thumb.
He has big hands, so
Yeah.
No, but
C- CW laid back seat post.
oh no, I heard about that
Oh.
last time you talked. No, my dad's beer keg from that shot,
That is awesome.
we will.
and he
We won't-
traveled with this. Can you imagine?
What?
He traveled with this. Remember those big OGO bags?
Yeah.
Well, I gave mine to my dad, and he put this in the OGO bag and travel the world with it. And then after 9/11, they go, "What is this?" You know, and they scan it and they think it was a bomb. And it took him so much time at the airport. He couldn't travel with it anymore. And I went, man, that's too important. So I tagged it and flew it back to Vegas about 2 years ago.
Oh,
And now
Wow.
I have it forever and dolled it up, and it's ode to my dad. That's for
Yep.
sure.
and
I
we're
love it.
we're gonna give it some airtime. It's gonna be a little more famous right now.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
Oh, man. Well, it's certainly, like I said, the most iconic BMX picture of Las Vegas, and the fact that it was you, the king of Las Vegas, just made it perfect. And it was one of those things that you didn't need a caption. You just didn't need. You didn't need a caption. That's how great a photo.
It's an all-time, not just Vegas. That's an all-time
Yeah.
iconic picture.
I
Agreed.
agree with that.
I can remember I
Yeah.
can remember looking at the picture and trying to figure out where you landed. I literally was like, there's no way he just jumped off this thing and he's that high in the air and he's going to just land on flat ground. There has to be a place where he landed. I can remember trying to figure that out. And then
Nah.
when I heard the story later, when I got to know you and stuff, and I was like, no, he hucked that thing to flat. I was like, wow, man, I can't believe that. It's crazy.
But
Yeah.
not the most famous or used picture or circulated picture of Tracer Finn on a bike.
That's a really good question, because I think you and I know that.
Yeah,
And I
JV
didn't know
should.
it. I didn't know it for
It's
until
got it's
2000.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
the
it's like
yeah.
like when you look at the NBA logo,
That's right.
logo. You know who that is shooting the basketball? I think it's
It's Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West.
Yep.
Correct.
Jerry
Yeah.
West.
The PGA Tour logo, it's Al Geiberger, I think. It's an old golfer. Anyway, when you look at every Woodward Camp brochure,
Oh, that's
Or-
right. That's right. Jumping over the
Yeah.
over the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I
that's
have a
Tracer.
Woodward
You
jacket.
told me that. You told
Yeah.
me that.
That's Tracer
Oh.
Finn.
Yeah.
And it-
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's
You got a
been
lot of
used
money
on
for that?
trophies. It's been used on trophies. It's been used on a lot of stuff. Yeah. How much royalty are you getting off
Yeah.
of
How
that?
much money did you get for that?
You know what? What's pretty cool is I went there with TJ to Pennsylvania, and I saw it on the wall, and I was like, "Boy, that looks familiar." And that's from Strawberry Fields. Bob Osborne gave me a follow-up after doing this jump. He gave me a photo shoot at Strawberry Fields, and it was really neat, and that's what that picture was, like a turn down, and I didn't know it took any traction. But once I met all the people that own Woodward, they let my son be a camper for free
There you go.
Wow.
See?
at Woodward West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're part of the Woodward
So,
family. You're
there you
forever
go.
part of the Woodward family.
I love it.
Yeah.
Woodward family.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey,
That
you
was
do
pretty
have
cool.
you do have a special relationship with TJ Lavin, and not everyone may know that or know of TJ Lavin that listens to this podcast, because he was an an X game superstar that came after us. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he is you trained him well, Tracer. He's a great young guy, man.
He is a good guy. I just happened to be in the room sort of at the same time, so it's cool. He's done a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah, super talented, but the three of us always talk about that. Way more important that he's like you. He's a chip off the old back. He's a great guy.
He's a good egg.
He's a good
Yeah.
egg. That's what we
right.
say. He's a
brag,
good
I could
egg.
brag about him this whole hour. I mean,
Yes.
he's the kind of guy, we go to lunch and he'll grab a stack of 20s and give them to homeless people down the road, buy him lunch, buy him dinner. He'll go fill the back of his truck up with sleeping bags. If it's late, he'll go and he'll drop them off, and nobody knows that. Like, these are the things that why we're all friends. It's the things you do. And he doesn't drink or smoke. And that was good for me when I travel with him, because it sort of I remember everything, like you had a buddy, then we thought our era was cool, going to Brazil with TJ and rolling with Stephen Murray and Corey Nastasio and sort of hitting the underground scene with those guys. Nothing we did, nothing that we all did collectively even compares to one night with these cats. It unbelievable where it's gone. Rock star, definitely rock star.
And you managed them, and you were the team manager.
Yeah, thanks to Travis. Yeah, that was
Travis
Travis
Chiprez.
Chiprez. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all sort of knew each other, and that was our little circle. And he talked me out of show business to come with him, and it was like I was stealing 4 years doing that program. We had such a good time.
Who was the best
awesome
guy to manage? Who was I assume it was TJ, but who was the best guy to manage? The easiest guy to manage, I should say.
Jeremy Famberg.
Jeremy Famberg.
Yeah, he's about.
Why?
He would make the finals in vert. You know how vert guys are, man. You can't fake it in vert. You can't just go, I'm a dirt jumper, or I'm, and I say this because he was so, like, I could see him being a manager someday, like, or being a really good dad. Like, he knew that we had to do bike shop signings and the work, really why we're out there. And he was just such a good guy. And I just feel like he was really enjoyable. And then the coolest, who I probably have the second closest relationship to, is one of the gnarliest dudes ever. Erica, do you know Chad Kagi?
Oh yeah,
I know that guy.
I had to talk him down when he broke his neck. He did a double backflip. This is how cool this is. He did a double backflip at the Gravity Games, and he had already made the finals, and a local TV station came out, and he went, "Oh, we need some B-roll." And he goes and does a double backflip and breaks his neck in warm-ups just for this TV thing to promote his sponsor. And then he's going like this and going, I can ride. I'm like, man, I begged him, and just somehow he didn't go at it. And then that night, he's got a little neck brace on, and, we're hitting beers and going to the parties and stuff. And he drives all the way back to Pennsylvania, and he goes to his doctor, and he goes, "Don't move. Your neck's broken." And you go, and you know what? If they would have said go home, he would have been fine and went and probably done some vert riding. So guys like that make it easy. And then Mike, I know you have some stories, the team manager stories, that there's also a reason why I stopped being a team manager too. So
well, let me ask you, who was the worst, or not worst, the hardest person to manage?
I would say, and he's a good dude too.
Yeah, you can be a good guy and still be hard to manage.
Yeah, it was.
I were hard to manage sometimes.
Yeah,
and that was your fault.
They can be rascals. Yeah, you could be a rascal. You could still be a good guy and be a rascal.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting because he's such a badass. And is Alan Cook? You guys know Alan?
I do.
Yeah, and he didn't need anybody. Like, he had his brother and his dad, and he didn't need some old washed up BMXer telling him to, get his socks off the TV. You know what I mean? Like, you sort of have to be realistic when and I'll save some of those stories for your rent-a-car. I heard, your rent-a-car episode.
That's something I'm going to ask.
Because those guys killed me. But I mean, hard to manage, meaning I really didn't do as good as I could have with them because we weren't sort of tight. You know what I mean? Like, he had his own camp, and he didn't need anybody. Like, I wasn't going to make him any better. So but most of the other guys, man, they're lifelong friends. You know, we, like you say, we have secrets like you guys that you just never tell. You know, you just never tell.
Well, there's a secret I would like you to tell. I'd like to hear your version.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, you're going to want to hear this.
I'm scooting close. I'm choking up on the bat.
Tracer and I, you know, Roger Worsham from CW Cycles took a chance on both Tracer and I. And, you know, we turned out to be we were good guys, good eggs, and didn't do a lot of things wrong. And we were, you know, we tried our best, and we were good eggs, like I said. But when Roger took us back east for the first time and we stayed in Delaware, I'll let Tracer finish the rest of the story.
So we're in the, you know, Wooden Wheels bike shop. Those guys are fantastic. So
Reed
we did
Rollins.
we just did all of our, you know, everything we were supposed to. And now we're hungry. Everybody, it was Andy Zerzo, and Mike and I just love Andy. And so Mike and I were like, it's 10 o'clock. We're like, let's get some pizza. 2-story motel in Delaware at 10 on a Friday night kind of thing. Or no, excuse me. It was definitely Saturday night.
It was Saturday because we raced on
Saturday night.
Saturday. We'd already raced
Right.
on Saturday, and we both did well.
Okay, I'll back up to that. Is that Mike? They brought us there. CW sponsored the event. Mike won Pro Open and B Pro, and it was a rarity. But I won 17X and the Open, and Andy got second in the Open and won like 15X or 16X. So we sort of had it down. We had a good day, you know, and that was a rarity. Like, Mike had already been established, but
No.
so we went out and went, let's go get some pizza. And we walked 30 feet, and all of a sudden we hear this woo, woo, people, you know, like screaming, like a youthful scene. And we walk across this, seemed like it was 4 lanes, but something out of American Graffiti. And we go in to get pizza at this little pizza place.
Let me add something though. Yes. So we walked across the street, but what we didn't realize was the motel was on the main drag in the little city.
Yeah.
And that was the Friday night cruise spot.
It was cruise
yeah.
night.
It was cruise night.
It was
So
cruise night.
all the young people in their hot rods, on their tractors, on everything, everybody was out. It was great.
Oh, I love this.
So we grab our pizza, and Mike had just started wearing those 3/4 inch shorts or 3/4 length shorts with the golf shorts. And we're not wearing socks. We're just wearing BMX shirts, and we look like we stepped out of California. Right. So we just took our pizza, sat our chairs outside and watched girls and what, you know, it was University of Delaware's cruising spot. And why I say that, it's 4-to-1 girls. And I do have a side story on that, because Mike, before I tell the rest of the story, is my dad's wife was Miss Delaware. And, and he just gave me the license plate off of his car for my birthday.
Yeah.
Old guy. And it says Delaware.
I love it.
So that was the cruise spot for everybody. And so we passed on a few things, and then there was just an old Mustang that, correct me if I'm wrong, that we just couldn't pass on to take a spin.
It had fantastic seat covers that I remember.
Yes. So Mike and I finished our pizza and said, you know, doesn't hurt to take a spin down the main drag. And if you want to go from there, because I do remember most of this.
So Tracer and I got in the car with these 2 girls, and
It's their car. It's their car.
We're just sitting on our hotel chairs that we dragged out to the sidewalk eating pizza. There, you know, people are honking and waving, and these 2, you know, Delaware beauties stop and pick us up. You know, they pulled over. We're chatting with them. Why don't you ride with us? So we get in the car with them. Now this is
one of the scariest moments of my life.
This is probably it's already like 11:30 now on Saturday night, and we have to race the Sunday National.
Yep.
So we're out cruising. We're cruising up and down, up and down, up and down, and you know, you just keep going up and down for a couple of hours, right? And then comes, hey, do you guys want to go to? We have this secret spot we go to. And so I said, no, it's, you know, and of course Tracer says, oh yeah, we're going to go. It's going to be great. See, Tracer, that's why you should tell the story.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the guys was, you want to go see George Thorogood's house
That's
and
what
the
it
Delaware
was.
Destroyers. That is right. Am I right?
That is
Like,
right. That is correct.
And it was
All right.
it was this little, and I guess so they're going down this road and it's all going around trees like Amityville Horror. Like it was gnarly. Like they were flying and they're driving fast in this old Mustang with
Flying.
fly tires,
Flying.
like, and they go, you want to see what we do for fun? And they're like going like this, and they go pop, and they pop off the headlights, and they know the road, and
Wow.
there's no like cigarette
movie.
lighter glowing, or there's no dome light, and they know the road, and I'm going, literally, we're freaking dead. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even, and I like to drive, and I would never have done that. Like it was just, and I don't even think they were drinking. None of us were drinking. They were just had it wired. So we go see their house.
Wait.
or whatever.
I want to add something. I
Yeah.
could not hear Tracer screaming because I was screaming so loud, like a girl, like a cheerleader, like a girl. I was screaming so loud I could not hear him screaming. Scared.
It was one of the scariest things
death.
I've ever done. I mean, really, because we
Wow.
were out there so far. It was 90% death rate. Like it wasn't
Love
like,
it.
oh, I jumped off a 20-foot cliff in the water. Like you're talking this is it. Like this is it.
I
So
love it,
I was
man.
scared to just go ahead.
I was just gonna say, somewhere there's two girls in Delaware that are telling a story about two guys
Scared,
out in the woods.
scared little candy asses. And
You remember
we
that
looked
time
cool.
they got families and shit, and they're like, "You remember that time those bicycle rider guys? We picked them
showed
up,
them.
we scared the shit out of them."
Do you know how long it took me to get the smell of urine off of that front seat from that guy
Oh.
with the shorts on?
Anyways, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Oh
Jason,
no,
go
it's great because it verbatim. I mean, I literally remember it like it was yesterday. It was the feeling. It wasn't the sights as much as the fear, and then knowing that we shouldn't have been there. We're supposed to be doing something else.
Yeah.
Is this the way I die? You know, it was just not good. It was not good. And so
damn that Miranda for talking me into this.
Yeah.
So we end up, you know, we make the long story short, end up, you know, sort of cruising around with them, playing kissy face, whatever. And we end up just right as the sun's rising. Okay, is that a good stopping point for you to pick
Yeah,
up?
that's it. That's a
Whoa.
great. Yeah,
Is that sort of?
that's good right there. Perfect.
Okay, all right.
And so the sun's coming up, and we're coming home.
Wow.
And we literally were, Tracer and I are sneaking in, just sneaking up through the up the stairs, quietly open our hotel room door, and we get in our room. And you know, you lay down and you go, "Oh my God, I cannot believe I survived that."
Yes.
And we were all
then-
in the same room. It was
Yeah.
Roger. It was, I think I was on the floor. It was like Mike and I and Andy and Roger. So
Wow.
Whoa. And
Wait,
you- and-
Roger was in the room. Oh
yeah,
my
wasn't he?
God.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he was.
that was
he
back
drove.
in the glamour days of CW factory racing.
Yeah. So go ahead
Dude.
from there, because that was a sucky turnaround.
That's ballsy.
Well, well, it wasn't like we were just going to go get pizza and be back.
Yeah.
And so it's sunlight, and sunrise came, and so did we. And then we got into the room. Thank you for that. And then right, we got in. Roger wakes up, and he gives us the what for, and he gave us a threat,
Yes.
a promise, if you will.
And
Go
they were
ahead.
different. They were different.
They were different. Go ahead.
They were different. They were the same threat, but at different levels. Because I wasn't that factory, but I think Mike had, you know, probably a little better contract, or a contract might be the case. So he says to us, he said, the next race you go to, you're going to pay everything in advance. And if you break any of my rules, you have to pay. I will not pay you back for the trip. And I know I had that deal, and I don't know if yours was the same.
He gave me the fatherly, he says, you know, I'm so disappointed in you, that we're here to promote the brand. You're here to do a special thing. We spent a lot of money to bring you here, and you didn't take it serious. And I was like, but Raj, we won. We're going to win again. It's great. We're going to win. You're going to win. And go ahead, Tracer. Tell everybody how we did on Sunday.
Yeah.
So soon as it calms down, alarm goes off, we get up, and I don't even know if we slept. And then we drive like 2 hours. I think we were in Lawrenceville, and then we were in New Jersey, Delaware, like Newark, Delaware, and Lawrenceville, New Jersey, somewhere. But it was like a 2-hour ride, and we're just like, oh, we're gonna get smoked. It felt so bad. And we went to this track, and it was long and flat and with no starting hill. And the gate was like Schedule 40 pipe and would sort of drop, and you'd had to sort of go blump blump over it. It was just, everything was an effort. It wasn't a steep gate. It wasn't a tall hill. You couldn't fake it. Like, how sometimes you can get away, tuck behind somebody. It was out and around. It was like a U and a U, and it was flat, like in a field almost. And so I know for a fact, Mike flipped the gate, and our timing was off. We sucked. We were getting sort of beat by the same guys we had handled. And I ended up, I think I won expert, and I don't even know if I made the main and open. And I know Mike only won one class as well. So we halved our performance. And I remember, I think you flipped the gate. Our timing sucked. We were faking it. And it was just a loser weekend for, I really felt like the kid that did something wrong. And I will never forget that.
Yep. I took off on the second light. Went over the gate. Oh, it was terrible. And I remember that was the longest ride from the finish line back to the pits. I think I went the long way around, all the way around the track, just so I wouldn't have to go back to the pits and have Roger just tear into me again. Well deserved, by the way. Well,
because
deserved.
he did, and people that give you sort of the opportunity, and I did feel bad. Like it's a funny story, but it sort of sucked because I truly did disappoint him. Like he always had that, are you going to be, are you going to be on time? Like he never trusted me again until we got older. And then I kept his secrets on his second career.
Hey, Tracer, I got to tell you, I just got a text from our boy Clarence Perry.
Oh,
Earthquake says he's at work, so he can't call. He was going to call in too.
Oh,
to
nice.
To wish you happy birthday.
Oh, man.
Hey, Mike, do you remember the first time we sort of met at Cook Brother Classic at Irvine?
Yes, we were jumping.
Yes.
Jumping.
Dude,
Yes.
that was a good jump in the back by the eucalyptus tree.
Yes. Yep. Tracer, did you ever win a big race with jeans?
Yeah, a couple of NBA national.
Yeah.
And then second at Corona with Levi's, with Pistol and Pint and Medlin and Lundy against the biggies, I had a chance.
Here's the other thing I wanted to jump in on. I know the jeans thing, right? Like they'll picture you as a jeans rider, but when I picture you, it's the jeans, but it's also those CW Gators.
Yes.
Wearing those Gators, which we should have thrown in on our discussion on with the bike parts, and then also the stuff that you would wear as a racer.
I had to, because my first pair of CW pants, I was racing in Bakersfield, I think, and Roger and Andy, and we're heading in that little bomb waiting to happen mini truck with the propane tanks.
The propane powered mini truck.
Yeah.
Chevy Love. Yeah.
And you guys passed me going, and I was racing the NBA circuit. You guys were going north somewhere, and you stopped, and you gave me a set of your pants, and they were like literally like wearing shorts, like the 3/4 shorts, like the capris. They look like capris. And
they were super high water on him.
Gators will fix it right up.
And I ran Gators until gear pants came along that were actually long enough. And it was absolutely out of flooding. I mean, I couldn't even get socks. Like it was on purpose. Like I didn't want to say they were cool. My pants were too short.
Hey, that is show business. That's what that is right there. I love it.
Their shoes were having a party, but you forgot to invite your pants down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So-
fantastic. I love hearing shit like that. Oh
Yeah,
my
definitely.
gosh.
Now it makes sense. Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
And everybody else was buying Gators because they thought they were cool.
That's right.
Well, there were three things I remember about Tracer back then, and meeting him the first time was, number one, how fast he was. Man, I mean, a guy out of nowhere, and the fact that this fast guy was in the main with jeans. He was the
Yeah.
only guy with blue jeans on. But the one that got me the most was watching Tracer jump. I mean, Tracer could just absolutely launch it. Would go faster and higher than anybody. All of us. We all had style, but Tracer had style and giant brass balls. Would hit the jump, faster and harder than anybody else and go higher. It was amazing.
Eric, you'll appreciate this. I brought my jumping bike to that race. You want to know what it was?
Oh my gosh.
I brought
Would
my
you-
full-on jumping bike for that.
Would
that
you
Irvine
have?
jump. An Anderson Avalanche with a small bottom bracket with turny cranks.
Oh my gosh.
It was like landing on a frick. It was just like a boring. I mean, the whole bike. I don't think I got hurt because the bike would just melt and
Yeah.
then sort of just come back. It was definitely
Dude, that
not built for that.
I mean, that was the spot to be between motos. It was like as soon as
It was. Oh,
as soon as your moto was done, you ripped back there behind the starting hill to go watch that jump, man. And you guys would sprint so fast at that thing, man. It was amazing to see how high you guys would go. I was in awe, just standing there the whole time. It was just a little.
it was
drawn.
more fun than racing, And
I have another story I'd like to ask you about because I
Oh.
happen to be an eyewitness. Andy Zirzo and I were standing in just outside the turn at a race in Las Vegas, and Tracer fell. And Tracer, as he fell, he put his hands out.
Yeah.
Yep. And we heard
Mm.
boom, ow. Tracer gets up, and Andy Zirzo looks down, and he sees that Tracer tore off part of his glove. Andy Zirzo reached down and picks up the piece of glove, and Tracer's finger is still in it.
I got center punched, and your bars go sideways. So I just pitched forward, and my hand went out. Just natural, and I got sort of berm shotted, and the other guy didn't fall. So my hand actually went in his spokes. So it went all the way around to its brakes, and then just sort of tugged there, and he kept pedaling, and it stripped it off, but left the bone. So the bone was still there,
Oh,
and then the rest was, and that's why they couldn't do anything with it. So
That was like when you eat chicken wings, right?
yeah,
You took it right off.
Exactly.
Remember when you got the bone left?
exactly.
It was wing
And-
night.
Yeah.
And that ended Tracer ever going to play the piano again.
Yes, and typing threatening letters. I miss all the A's. They know who it is.
Oh man.
Good times though.
Great times, man.
I wrote something down because there's some people that you guys know how important. This is why I dig what you're doing, is because it's just a bunch of buddies BSing. We all have we've all had our day, but some of the best friends, like Eddie King, like you guys getting Eddie calling in, he was in my JV. You would understand this actually, is like, he was in my first wedding, but I didn't let him in my second because the first one, I didn't want bad luck. The first one didn't work out. So he didn't get the call for my second wedding. And that's, and I think most of you guys know my wife, Shelly, but he wasn't allowed in the second one because that one ended. So, but the goodness, and I wrote this name down, and I thought I'd ask you guys, JV, I'll start with you, and say, have you read or heard, I don't know exactly where it was, if it was in print or a podcast, but do you know who Mike Miranda said is the best rider he knows is?
The best rider he knows?
Yeah.
No.
All right, Mike.
Do I know who I said the best rider I know? I know who
You
it comes
said
to mind.
James.
Yeah.
You said James. And I thought it was so cool
Yeah.
because you guys have ridden so much together, and
Yeah.
and you may not have got the accolades, but I was like, man, that's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Like you could throw some big fat names in there, and James, that made me smile when I heard that. And hey, Eric, how do you have a buddy that just doesn't maybe not get the props, but that if he had the chance, he'd be a champ, probably even in mountain bikes too.
Back in the day, man, we had there was a well, he actually did he ended up doing pretty good, man. Was a guy named Ryan Vanderveen.
Oh yeah,
And,
Vander.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ryan actually did make it, but man, for a while he was on the cusp of, he ended up hooking up with Big E and getting on Robinson, so he actually did
What a
make
good
it. But
dude. Yeah.
yeah, but he was, and but Ryan was a local kid that rode in my backyard all the time. And for a long time, he was just like, he was a super stylish kid. He could do all the jumps in the backyard. Levesque would come to the backyard and do these, like, we had these contests where we would see who could get closest to the jump and still jump it. And so we draw a line and then get closer and closer and closer. And Ryan could always match all the
best
stuff
of the
that-
best, huh?
Yeah, he could match everything that Levesque did. I couldn't even match his stuff. Ryan was that good of a rider, man. And he was just this phenomenal, super talented kid, man. And yeah, it was good that Big E got to see him and hook up with him through riding in my backyard and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. But it's always good to give props to guys that sometimes always don't get the accolades that they deserve. And to give them a little bit of a moment.
I think
Right.
it's I see it as a common thread kind of with a lot of us that are this, friends in the same, right? That we, it's not about status or any of that stuff. It's about, the friendship. And we talk about it too, like the people in New York and the guys that rode their bikes across the GW bridge to go. I mean, those like the first guys that come to mind sometimes with
Yeah,
for a lot of things,
exactly.
and nobody knows who they are. I mean, like nationally, because they're East Coast guys, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a big thing with us.
Well,
we would always run into guys, man. I remember Hollywood. I remember when we would when I was on that tour with you in the motorhome, that crazy tour, and we would go midweek and we would do clinics, then we'd race at we'd do the clinic, then we'd race. Man, we'd always run up against, I would always run up against some dude that was absolutely gonna, I mean, here was his perfect
Wearing
shot,
overalls, killing you on
Yeah.
his local track.
and he's, and this is his chance, right? This is his chance to beat the factory rider and show what he's made of. And man, those guys, I mean, there was one time I'll never forget this, Hollywood. You were actually announcing, and this kid absolutely just came in and blasted me in a corner. And my dad always taught me, like, if you can get him in the next corner, you handle it in the next corner. You don't wait for it to get off the track. Hopefully you get it done on the track. And then when you're off the track, you don't have to talk about it. So I just returned the favor, roughed him back up. And I remember Hollywood is actually announcing the local race. And he said, guys, when push comes to shove, there ain't no love. I'll never forget that, dude. Cause I kind of was like, I just roughed up the local hero. I just blasted the fastest kid at the track, man. Am I going to get like tarred and feathered and ran out of town? What's going to happen?
Check the tires on your car.
Exactly, man. But there's so many of those guys, that were there's always fast people that never really had the support, never got the shot, never got a chance to get recognized. And they're out there, man. There's some talented bicycle riders.
Somewhere in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, there's a guy telling two girls in a Mustang, I took out Eric Carter.
That's right.
At this local race.
That's exactly.
I like those. It's funny because Shelly's from Iowa, so I go there and I communicate with some of those old guys. They're awesome. And my pick was a teammate of Mike, of yourself and Eric's. And I don't know how much overlap there was, but I'll just say street, vert, dirt, flatland, racing, and of course, mountain bike and could hold his own on a road bike if he had to. And I'll sort of give you at least one guess, but he was on your guys. He was a teammate of the two of you.
He was a teammate.
Hutch, got to be Hutch, right?
No, it was free agent.
Oh,
Free agent. Oh, Gary Laurent.
Yep.
Oh,
Gary
dude.
Laurent, super talented rider.
Yeah. Hey,
that
man.
could ride on anything on two wheels.
Hey, man, people don't know. I'm telling you what, you guys, I mean, I saw Gary before he was on free agent at the U.
Yes, with Bartlett.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, the shit that Gary Laurent was doing at the U back in, what is that, 84, 85?
Yeah.
and they had the way the U, it's hard to explain how the U is because was such a unique place to ride, right? It was literally the San Andreas Fault, and there's this huge canyon, and you come ripping down the hill of one side, and there's this crazy, Mike, you have
Hold
an
on.
actual.
Yeah, I'd say you
picture.
come basically falling off of a cliff on two wheels.
Yes.
Super steep.
Yeah.
Then you went across like a 5-foot flat, and then you went up the canyon the other side. I mean, up a straight wall. And if that wasn't enough, some hobos bubble gum and stapled some plywood they found in the desert together to make it steeper and a bigger ramp at the very end with a huge kick at the end.
And you have that, Hollywood, you have that iconic shot.
He has that picture with that ratty ramp, right?
Yeah, it says Oingo Boingo on the ramp.
Yes.
That wedge.
Yeah.
I borrowed that once.
So those guys, Billy Harrison,
yes,
and Bartlett and Laurent would ride there, and they had all of these crazy local lines with these transfers, right? Where they would carve off the lip and they would try to make it to the right of the Manzanita bush. And they would do these, like, I mean, mind you, this is in like 85, right? And they would do, like, Gary would jump and do these, like, oh, I got 5 arm swings with my right arm. and I got 2 with my right, 2 with my left. And then they were landing one-handed and all kinds of crazy stuff in 85. I mean, it was so far in advance of, it technically, if you look at what Pastrana does on his mega ramps or what he does at his house, where those guys are learning how to do triple backflips on motorcycles and stuff, it's kind of the equivalent of that, ripping down the side of a hill and hitting a big giant wall and letting, the gravity was good because there was a plateau you would land on. So you didn't have to come all the way back down to the ramp. But dude, Gary Laurent.
Yeah,
amazing.
he did it. He rode in that show here in Splash for years. And then I just brag about him because, like all of us, you got a flat tire at 2 a.m. If you don't call one of us, we'll be more pissed than you would be walking, and that's sort of how, people are like that. But I wanted to add that I don't know if you've seen it, but he just won America's Got Talent Extreme.
Really?
Oh, I didn't see that.
You know what he was doing, Hollywood? He was doing the cycle dome of death thing.
Oh, the motorcycle in the steel ball.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, I got to tell you one more thing about Gary Laurent. Not only was he a great jumper and all the style and super fast, but again, Tracer, he's one of us. He is a good egg, man.
He's a good dude.
He is a great guy. A guy that, like you said, if you got a flat at 2 a.m., or listen, if you got a flat and he's on his way to a job interview, he would still pull over to help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
Dude, Gary can also, he can drive the shit out of a car. Yes. I don't know if you guys, when I would go to, I spent a lot of time in Lancaster and Palmdale with Rich and Billy riding and stuff like that. And we had gone to one of their desert parties, and I happened to be catching a ride home with Gary, and I think he had a Corvette.
It is Camaro. No,
maybe a Camaro. It was a black Camaro.
His 3. Yeah.
You got to experience that too.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Pretty impressive, huh?
Oh my gosh, he's driving. We were probably going 70, 80 miles an hour down some back road, and he can whip the car into he can 360 while he's going and pull it right and just keep going straight.
That's from the rental car. Dave.
Yeah,
that
practice.
Was his Dukes. It was like a Rockford. He'd pull
Andy
It was a Rockford. That's what it was.
At speed.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he could turn the lights off.
And he also did the stunt driving for Agassi commercial for Kia, where they jump a gap, and he jumped a big gap for a TV show.
No kidding.
And he was on Pacific Blue too on that mountain biking. I think him and Butcher were on that. So
Gary was I'm glad you brought him up, man. He's definitely doesn't get as much credibility and recognition for how talented he was. Dude, it was super. He wasn't just a fast bike racer. He was really smart.
Yeah.
And
I
smooth.
remember, yeah,
I remember
style.
I mean, just
yep.
Wow.
I remember watching him when he was on Free Agent, and I would always try to watch his races because he was always really smart on the track. He knew where everybody was. He knew who was behind him. He knew who was in front of him and what he had to do to manage not getting taken out. He knew how to like tuck in behind people. And, you know, if he was in second, he knew how to hide himself from other people so they couldn't T-bone him. And he was really
like Cooper
good
Webb
about
in moto. Yeah.
Gary he is a really, really talented two-wheel guy. No doubt about it. I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah. So that's fun because of people like that are like you guys where they're bros forever. And, you know, we're all pretty blessed. That's for sure.
For sure. And that's really the moral of the story, right? Is you're a good guy and that follows you the rest of your life, your reputation. And I really appreciate you brought him up because he definitely qualifies into that, the opposite of the terrible 10, the super great 10.
Oh, look at this beauty.
Oh,
What is this?
That's a
yes.
That's a birthday.
Oh, look at this.
all right, fellas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nine Fingers. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There you go.
And I actually got a BMX assist from BMX about to marry her. I met her and she goes, "You're that bike guy." And
I love it.
And I went, "Oh, cool." I definitely got an assist.
Yeah.
So the bike stuff industry did treat me well. So
Well,
I
so
truly
good.
appreciate it. Isn't that funny about this, Mike?
That's hilarious.
This means so much to me. It's like,
We
Goodness.
we went and saw your dad play once. We all went and saw the show. Roger, all of us went.
Yeah.
We all went. I think might have been Clarence. All of us went there. And your dad played for us at his house once.
yes. Yeah, definitely.
That's
I look
cool.
back at the Mickey Finn stickers and I've sent him, and we're talking like when you guys were on Hutch. I don't know if you were there, Eric, yet, but the whole team, like when Mike was on there,
We all had
the
Mickey
whole
Finn stickers,
team
all of
would
us.
it'd be like Veltman, national #1, and a Mickey Finn sticker.
Yeah,
You know,
that was
like
cool.
that was like a year. That was 2 years before me.
yeah, it was
That's amazing, man.
it was so cool because it was a family business, you know, and like it was just, I'm looking for it,
But
but
your sponsor,
They all had, so everyone had it on their plates.
everybody.
That's
Oh.
super cool.
the whole team, Billy'd have them and getting magazine coverage. Like what
Yeah.
we'd say is if you got in the magazine, you could always come to the show for free. Like, and that was, here's some, see, I got the,
Wow.
Hold on, let me see that.
Those are the
I've
OG
seen that.
stickers.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
and I
no,
think-
no. The OG ones, the
No,
OG,
here's the-
real OG,
Yep.
they were like kind of cloth.
Yes.
Sea Tracer.
Yes. And I'm looking, I have the original button it was made off of, and I messed everything up here, but they were cloth stickers and they would last a couple of races. And then a buddy of mine made these, but I have a couple original, I just hide them away. But it's pretty cool when your buddies, it's like your parents own like you guys in Hank and Muscle Power. You know, he just gave you guys, you talked about it on your last show. Like he just gave you drinks and everybody run his little,
Stickers.
Vinyl patch.
What
So
a cool thing, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
what I liked about what you guys are doing too is the variety and like sort of going after things people don't ask about, who, like Mike, when you tell the story, I've known you forever and I didn't know that you got called Hollywood because of that shitty paint shirt, like all these cool nicknames. And then you say, what sticks, and then my first call this morning to wish me happy birthday was, and my phone pops up, it was PK. And I'm like, man, I go, what a blessed life. Like just the friendships, and now it wasn't like a racing thing as much as now that we're older, we all have mutual friends. We all show up at each other's whatever. And that was my first, I'm doing this. I'm like, I'm sleeping in today. I usually get up at 4:30 and the first phone ring was PK wishing me happy birthday. I thought.
Very cool. Very
And
cool.
then Mike to also, your other guy, the person when the Hall of Fame came out, guess who the first person that called me was?
Who's that?
Tommy Brackens.
Wow, nicest guy in the world.
You know what I mean? Like,
Tommy
like
Lee.
you guys are hitting it, like the stuff
Tommy
you're
Lee.
hitting are like, you go, that's so spot on. You know,
Well,
like
Tracer, to let you know, I have asked a few people, but now it's coming the other way. I'm getting text messages and messages. Hey, can I be on your podcast? When can I be on your podcast? We on the very short list of people we absolutely had to have on here, you were on that very short list.
No doubt.
thanks, man.
And that's because the quality of human being that you are.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Well, I'm the lucky one. I mean, look at us. We're stealing. Like right now, you know, like how cool is this? Like
we say that, Tracer, like me in Hollywood, we laugh about this. I'll talk with Mike about it, and we talk about, well, I mean, look at his screen right now. Look at him.
yeah.
This is our podcast right here.
Yeah, this is awesome. You know,
Oh, what he's doing down there.
I'm
just-
looking through. This is what I'm doing.
But
Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going through photos
we run it raw.
and finding. You know what that
Oh, that's
is,
Marlon.
JD?
That's Weewo.
look at
That's
that. hat.
Weewo.
That's Weewo.
That is a sports coat we bought at a thrift store,
On
and
the way
that
to the
is the
golf
champion, my
course.
champion. Golf East. That's our Masters jacket.
We were in Palm Springs, and we said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if whoever won gets this jacket, and then we'll play other rounds, and we'll give the jacket away." And we went to the thrift store, and that was the jacket. And Marlon Pearson, otherwise known as Weewo, beat Mike. Of course, was given a stroke. He was given.
Well, we all had strokes. We all handicapped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So Marlon Pearson, who won, and let me tell you this, he had just started playing golf, and he actually wrote on his golf club, on the head of the golf club, the distance with a Sharpie. I got to use a 6
I
iron.
sort of like that.
it was
How far-
brilliant.
He go, how far am I? And then Mike would say, well, you're probably blah, blah, blah. And he'd look in his bag and look for the number, and he'd take it out.
It's like a gear chart. You know what I mean?
It's like a gear chart.
It's like he had his.
And he
That was
beat us.
fantastic.
And he beat us.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
And
is
there-
amazing.
There are some amazing pictures in here. Some of your mom.
Yep.
I didn't say you, EC.
I know what you're talking about. I already know what he's talking about.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's
Stole that from your mom's house.
that's a picture of me and my mom and my dad, and that's me. That's when I graduated middle school.
Yeah, junior high school
That's-
graduation.
Your
that
tie's a
was
little
like the
long.
Romantics or the Knack shirt, like half
Yeah.
short sleeve but with a skinny tie. That was
Yeah.
And rolled up, and the sleeves were rolled up. Even.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hold that up again. Put it closer to the
Dude.
camera.
And the white jeans.
Got
And
like
look
a
at
pack of cigarettes in
Oh.
there.
And down a
and
little bit.
the
Down a
top
little, right
side.
there.
Look at the top side of shoes.
Yes, right there, right there. Wow.
Look at that.
Look
That
at
tie
that.
is long.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
You know what? I woke up this morning. Here's how good my day was. I woke up this morning, and my birthday gift was a total surprise because I don't know if I'm like you guys, but I have everything I want and need. You know, like if I don't have, I want for nothing. And my wife gives me this box. I open it up, and it's an iPad. Mine's like I have to delete things just to update it. Like it's so old. It's like, like 16 gig or something. So
It's
I get
actually
this
something
iPad.
you use. Actually, something
Yeah.
you need. Yeah.
An iPad is like a square thing, and then just so you know.
I was going to ask you what that was.
All right, sorry, Tracer. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's like, so I open it up. I go, I got an iPad, like a new one, at least one that's got some memory on it. And then you called or you text, and I went, yes. So I'm doing this show with you guys, enjoying my night with my iPad. That was a gift from my wife. So
That's
she's
great.
my day is complete. It's awesome. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for sharing it with me. I always feel like I call Eddie up and I just literally thank him for inviting me. You know, like you just got to keep showing up because, you know, we're pretty damn blessed.
We love you to death. You know, you're a Hall of Fame BMX racer, but way more important, a Hall of Fame human being. You've been such a great guy, and you've given back so much to the sport and to other people. You're just a wonderful guy. Just
Thank you, man.
love
I
you to death,
appreciate
man.
that.
Yeah.
So proud to call you a friend, and even more proud that you think of me as a friend.
Absolutely.
And from
Love
now
you
on,
guys. And
from now on, you'll be known as a dirty knob.
That's right.
all right. Awesome.
Well,
Whoa.
enjoy the rest of your birthday, my friend. And we will schedule another call because we need to get you in on the Christmas special of Rental Car Stories.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You're
All
in.
right.
All right.
All right,
Tracer,
guys.
happy birthday. Love
Hey,
you,
happy
guy.
birthday, Tracer.
Tracy,
you,
you're the
guys.
best, dude.
Peace. See you
See
again.
you, bud.
Okay, boys.
Wow.
Yep. So
Yeah,
good.
that was
good.
good.
Another good one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, you bunch of dirty knobs. I'm going to send a box out to somebody who subscribes. So please do that. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Comment if you have anything to say. We'd love to hear it. And we will be back out here in 2 weeks with another one. And thanks to our sponsors. Speaking of which, we are going to read some commercials to you now. Thanks for showing our sponsors the love because they're showing it to us. Thanks again, and we'll catch up to you soon.
Kinda, designed for your journey. On the road, on the trail, or on the racetrack, you can count on Kinda quality. Our tires are engineered for performance and value across a wide range of interest and applications. See why Kinda is the right choice. It's your move.
Imagine how bikes can lead to a healthier, more connected world. Bikes set us apart, free to explore and move and experience our relationships with people and places like nothing else can. At Ceres, we don't just imagine a more bikeable world, we're all in, making it happen.
SR Sun Tour shares your passion of cycling. We are committed to giving you the highest level of service in the industry, along with products that hopefully will exceed your expectations. Serving riders is the cornerstone of our business, and we pride ourselves in doing it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Velocity Bike Park is the premier bike park for riders in Southern California, with 25 miles of world-class trails, obstacles, flow track, and races for mountain biking, gravel, and BMX.
ODI Grips, the world leader in grip technology, home of the lock-on grip system. Check them out over at www.odigrips.com. Mega Design Group is a full-service marketing firm. They handle everything from logos to advertising to packaging. Having over 25 years experience in the print and marketing fields, they can handle any hurdle. Check it out at megadesigngroup.com. Cool Stop Brake Pads. High-performance bicycle brake pads since 1977. Check them out at coolstop.com. That's KOOLSTOP.com. Supercross BMX. What can we say? Our lives revolve around BMX. Founded in 1989 to build the ultimate BMX race frame, they've never strayed from that vision. Hey, for more details, check it out at supercrossbmx.com. Amy Grips is dedicated to using all of its manufacturing strengths, including engineering, research, and development, to successfully prepare for future growth while demanding that the quality of its products provide consumers with complete satisfaction. Making grips since 1974. Check them out at amegrips.com.
If you have a Senna cycling helmet, you know what it's like to ride connected. Senna got their start in communications for the motorcycling industry, where they're now a leader. Senna brought their same tech that goes into those helmet-to-helmet motorcycle communication systems into cycling helmets. Senna bike helmets have an integrated microphone and 2 speakers hidden right into the shell. Sena helmets connect together on a mesh or Bluetooth network so you can talk to your friends while you ride without shouting over wind noise, even if you're not side by side. That is super cool, especially in the trails. Sena helmets also pair with smartphones, so you can listen to your playlist without blocking out ambient noise, and you can take phone calls and even hear turn-by-turn GPS directions.
Check out the podcasts that we listen to. These are our friends. We wouldn't be here without their help. So give them a check out. And finally, keep it dirty.